Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel, welcome to Leeds and welcome to yet another cabin build race between myself and Jordan. Now if you remember the last video, the last race we done, I won, but there were some discrepancies about who actually won that race because the differences between the two cabins. Here we don't have any excuses because the cabins are 100% identical, and I mean identical. They're both 4x3 meters, they both have the same pent roof, they both have exactly the same insulation, doors, windows, EPDM, rubber on the roof. They are identical. They are 6.5 meters away from each other. The cabins are over there on their pallets and the tools are set up in the middle. So no excuses, apart from one small one. At the weekend, I did put my back out picking up a slab of our white lemonade in B&M. But I have lubricated myself with ibuprofen gel and I've popped some cocodamol and I've got my running shoes on. So that's my excuses over. We have 4 days to build these, so let's race again.
Now the key to winning the race is getting off to a good start, so I wasted no time and got the base swept off. I even, as a goodwill gesture as the reigning champion, gave Jordan the pallet nearest the base. Even though his base was nearer than mine anyway, I thought it'd be the right thing to do, as he already had audio issues with his GoPro.
Right, so without even breaking a sweat, we've encountered a problem already, which is the measurements would have been given to whoever came and put the concrete bases in, which it looks like they built the concrete bases to exact measurements of the cabin. But unfortunately, if you look down here, you can see on my bit, the tarmac and the curbstone for the exit road here is going to be in the way because obviously the corners of the logs interlock. So that is not a problem at the back because the back is obviously higher than the tarmac, it slopes away. So Jordan, as you can hear already, is starting to manipulate his tarmac and get it out of the way. I'm going to have to do the same thing down here, but more concerning for me at the minute is the fact that I'm missing a piece of timber down here. One of these AR2s that goes internally. There should be 6, I've only got 5. Now, I could just go and nick one off Jordan, but that'd be a bit too naughty, wouldn't it? I don't even think he'll notice, to be honest, until this video comes out.
With my missing bearer now found, screwed up and in place, my base was finished and ready to go. But now we had to wait for the final delivery of building materials, which included the grinding discs, so we could cut the curbstones out before we could start building. I decided to have a hydration break and be at one with nature. It's also now that I realised I can sabotage Jordan's video without even lifting a finger.
GoPro, stop recording.
Oh, for f***'s sake.
Finally, the rest of the materials arrived, which included the windows, the doors, the OSB, insulation and rubber for the roof, but most importantly, the grinding discs to get the rest of the curbs cut out. But unfortunately, with only one grinder, and after clearing my tarmac out, I had no choice but to sit there and wait. But whilst observing the floppy-haired little fool grinding away, it suddenly dawned on me of who he reminded me of.
If you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, if you're not into yoga, if you have a break, no way to throw it off. For a second I believe it's gone. I'm just a fool out of love.
Needless to say, neither of us are actually winning because we've had to share tools to break out the concrete and the curbstone because it's something that we're not used to, so we don't really have a lot of like chisels and bolsters and lump hammers and grinding discs that go through concrete and stuff. But it's now sorted, so we are neck and neck level. We've turned the bases over, get the membrane on, turn them back over, build the building. Right, as you can probably see, it looks like I've got half a building up and Jordan hasn't got half a building up. which you'd be right to think that because it's true, but there is a reason. There is two different approaches here. You can see that Jordan is very carefully loading his cabin out, a bit like he did in the last race. The reason he's doing that is because when they arrive on the pallet, all of the materials for the roof, as in the soffits, all the roof boards and the floorboards, are on top of all the wall logs. So I've decided to give a different approach, which is literally to go gun-ho kamikaze, just chuck it all out the way and get to my logs. So while he's got a nice tidy pile, we're at a very similar stage here if you look with wall logs. He's not got many left, I haven't, but I've got a mess to clear up. He's got a nice piled up roof boards and stuff ready to go when he gets to that bit, but I've got half a cabin up and he hasn't. So I actually think we're still on a plateau, but we'll find out once I've tidied that up, because I have to do that before we go home and he doesn't, so we shall see. All right mate, do you want a hand? I'm not here to constantly knock down logs and screw great big screws into them. I'll leave that to other videos. If you want to see that, click the card up here.
Actually, you dumbass, that's the wrong corner. Everyone knows the YouTube card comes out from the right hand corner. Hold fire, reverse that, let's try that again.
I'm not here to constantly knock down logs and screw great big screws into them. I'll leave that to other videos. If you want to see that, click the card up here. I'm here to win a race.
Now that's much better.
Even the battery knows when it's had enough. I'm not putting a new battery in because half an hour before going home time. So what I need to do now, obviously because I'm way in the lead, is go and tidy up my mess and get it all covered up, ready for day 2. Not gonna lie, not gonna make excuses either, but my back is really hurting this morning. Day 2, lots to do. Yeah, the accommodation, the digs, is just, it's not very nice. The bed's so uncomfortable. In fact, it's in the worst area of Leeds. If you remember back a week, 2 weeks ago to the Hare Hills riots, where police and Romanians had a big riot about some children or something, social services. Anyway, we're actually been put up in Hare Hills and it's about 10 streets away from where the riot was. So every single night there's still chanting going on in protest to the police handling of the situation. It's just horrible. There's like loads of boarded up shops, there's people just hang around, there's so much noise all night long. All the houses have got bars on the windows and the doors. It's horrible. It's actually nice to come here. Although Eugene, who's like the caretaker here, even here he says, like in this private place, says you want to be careful, don't leave stuff in your van because people come around about every 2 days trying to rob push bikes and stuff like that. So just want to get this one done over the line and home. So yeah, this morning the first thing to do is, well, I tidied up my mess last night, so now I need to untidy it to get the rest of my logs.
Like that, I know she's only mine. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whispering.
With the wall logs now done, it's time to build the columns, and for that I have to do a very unmanly thing and read the instructions, because I have to make sure I have the correct measurement for the opening of the windows and doors to make sure I'm building the columns in the right place. And with them now done, the tie-in log brings it all together.
So damn perfect, it's so damn worth it, the secret we keep.
Now with the main structure of the building up and Jordan at a very similar stage, it's time to crack on with the roof boarding.
Well, I'm a sucker for it. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but
I made pretty light work of getting the roof boards down. I even managed to get the roof edge supports on as well. And I even found time to insulate the floor before end of play on day 2.
well, I'm a sucker for it.
Day 3, here we go. As you can see, I'm in the lead still. I've got my roof boards on, I've got my roof edge supports on, I've got my insulation down inside. Jordan hasn't. That's as far as I am ahead. I am now going to go upstairs. I'm going to go on the roof, blow off the roof. I'm not going to blow off the roof, that's a bit naughty. I'm going to get the debris off the roof with the blower, and then I'm going to put the membrane down, staple that down, put the 25mm batten around the outside, ready for insulation OSB. That's where we're going to end up level, because we haven't got the OSB and we haven't got enough insulation. So it's on delivery from Travis Perkins. The trouble is, it's not actually due to arrive till later on today, after we probably need it. So I think we're going to get to a point where we're completely level and going to have to go and get it. So it's like neutralising the whole race and starting again, which I think is a bit unfair. So I'm going to do everything I can possible before that point happens.
With the roof batten screwed down, time for a little trim up, and I'm ready for my insulation and OSB, which incidentally has just turned up. How convenient. There is one problem, we only have one airline, so I think it's only fair that I gun down my OSB as quick as possible, that way Jordan can use the gun, and I'll make a nice cup of tea, giving Jordan plenty of sugar, because I think he needs to pick me up to move him along a little bit faster. Now, to avoid using certain tools at the same time, we've gone different ways with our build. Jordan has decided to get all of his internal building done and his windows and doors, then his roof. I've gone roof first, then internals. So at this point, nobody knows who's winning.
Forever young, or am I faking on the tip of my tongue? There's a sarcasm waiting for you.
I don't usually use a marker for marking my timber. Somebody borrowed my pencil and never gave it back. Delay tactics at its finest.
Fade into oblivion, 'cause I'll keep shining over you all. And if your wings entwining, you better face the fall, keep trying to get.
I'm ready to lay my rubber roof, I think. I've got a little trim to cut off over there, get the tools off the roof, and then, well, he's just said that he's all completely finished inside, which I don't believe, because he just carried skirting around, so he's got to be lying. So yeah, I'm going to get all this stuff off the roof, and then I'm just going to give it an OSB skateboard to make sure there's no nails sticking out. You'll see what I mean in a second.
I'm not just messing around on the roof, honestly. What I am doing is using the OSB on the OSB to find any nails that are sticking up, because when you get a nail that's sticking up and you hit it with the OSB, it stops, and then you can knock it down with a hammer.
Oh yeah, keep trying to get. Zeros, everybody's trying to be heroes when all they have to.
Installing the rubber roof is definitely easier with two people, but being such a small building, I managed and now cracked on with the trims. Jordan had now finished his internals and was on his roof.
Keep trying to get.
Jordan was ready for his insulation and OSB. I was now off my roof and focusing downstairs, starting with the windows and doors.
I'll keep shining over you all with your wings entwining. You better face the fall. Zero. Everybody's trying to be here.
With the windows and doors now dry fitted, it was time to crack on with the internal and external upper trims.
Say to be okay is I don't know.
And now it's floorboard time.
Okay, I'm not that sure.
Bit of nervous peeking going on there.
The final floorboard cut in, it's time to get the skirting done. Jordan's rubber roof was on.
Finally, Grandad comes down off the roof. He still has all of his trimming to do.
What, square cut trimming you mean?
Still got me done.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating a sandwich. I'm still talking.
It was around about now I realised something costly and very time consuming was very wrong.
What's there out in the dark? Make sure to keep all your windows locked. Do you so?
It didn't matter what I'd done, the door frame was not sitting square in its opening. I had no choice here but to take the door back out, take it apart and trim down one side to get the adjustment I need to get the doors to shut properly. This is going to cost me a lot of time.
Bet you can look deep.
Jordan was now on his final upper trims.
Broken road. That's the only one you know. You better run out, truth don't dare.
With that giving me the adjustment to make sure the frame was level, it was time to get the doors on and make sure they closed properly.
Anywhere but here. Wanting something
And with them closing properly, I only had to drill a hole to make sure the second door bolt worked and I was done.
you just hiding. Yeah. Walking in.
I could see the pinner on the ground, but there was no sign of Jordan. I believe for the second time I had won.
Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here.
That'll be 2-0 then.
I'm not gonna lie, there was some squeaky bum time with the issue with the doors, but I crossed the line as number one again, just.
Anywhere but here.
Wow, gonna be honest, that was close, very close, way closer than I wanted it to be. That whole problem I had with the door cost me about 45 minutes because I just couldn't get it sitting level, so therefore the doors would not shut at all. So I've had to take the whole door back out on the floor, take one side off, rip it through the table saw, put it back in, so I had the playroom to get it nice and level, but it works, it does. And I've beat Jordan only just, way closer than what it should have been. But that's the difference of having two cabins identical. It was such a close race, but we're finished, it's done, and we're leaving now for a 3-hour trip home. So thanks for watching a second race. There may be another one in the future, but it's very difficult to know when you've got two cabins together, especially identical ones. So have a good weekend, I'll see you in the next one, goodbye. What the, wow, random. That's supposed to actually end the video, but instead it's transformed me home into my shed, which has saved me a 4-hour trip home. Bonus. Like I said, thanks for watching the video, hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, give the video a thumbs up, tells YouTube it's a good video. If you want to see Jordan's point of view of the race, then follow the links in the description. If you want to see the first race we have, then click the video here. If you want to see Jordan's perspective of that race, then click the video here, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.